And here comes this Lithuanian crew just off the side door here, just kind of parading in. Looked like they came from a Grateful Dead concert. Not in a straight line, and just totally free.
The rock and roll Grateful Dead team, and they're wearing tie-dye on the medal stand. It was one of the few priceless moments in sporting rock and roll history.
Sporting rock and roll history.
It's a long history.
Don't even know what that means.
History.
Nobody knows what it means. It's provocative.
Gets the people going.
What also gets the people going? The DNBA show live here, presented by Manscaped.
Your balls will thank you.
They will, guys. A lot of people ask us, how can we support DNVR? We want to support you. Support
Shave
your
your
balls as
balls.
well. Shave your balls. Shave your
a lot
balls
of people-
for DNVR. That's new. Don't forget, use promo code DNVR20. It's right up there in the top. We keep it there because it's so important.
A lot of people also
DNVR
ask us
20.
how they can get their balls to thank them. And, well,
It's a simple procedure, really. Bring in some Monday energy today, guys. I'm your host, Adam Mares. I'm joined by the man with the wind in his hair, the Peloton Prince, Vince Harrison Wind.
Peloton Prince.
Peloton Prince, man. I like that one.
You earned it. You earned it, buddy. The company man in full uniform. It's Brendan Vogt.
Yeah, I did not do this on purpose. This is a lot. I don't know. I might turn this backwards.
no, I like you. I like you being full frontal.
There you go.
You know what? I just when you took your hat off and you had the hair slicked back, you had a little bit of a Leonardo DiCaprio thing.
Oh, he's going back to his Jersey roots.
Yeah, you could pull off Leo. You could pull off
Leo for sure. He's
Cool.
more Leo than say I am, for example.
Wow.
If there's
That
one
run-
person
Wow.
here who can pull off Leo, it's clearly Vogt.
Thank you.
And the namesake of the giggling grizzly, it's D-Line.
What the F? Giggling grizzly.
That seems
Never
that
know,
seems-
The bar in Lodo? The gig
Yeah,
bar?
they-
Lodo, the giggling grizzly, the name
Well,
of Eric.
I would say, oh man. Okay. No, cool.
You have a rebuttal, go for it. I want to hear it. You can
Well,
clap
I
back.
mean, I get grizzly. Am I a bear? Is that what you're talking about?
Bring that comment back up, though. I do like the image of Harrison just like tired, wanting to quit. And no.
So you can have like a hashtag under your Peloton username.
Oh
That's
my
it?
god.
I might go with
Prince.
Peloton Prince, or maybe I'll just change my my screen name. to
What's up there currently?
Wind
Hashtag wind
underscore.
turbines forever. Big
Just
turbine
wind
guy.
underscore.
Guys, we have a special guest coming from all the way on the other side of the globe, from
Oh.
Japan. One of our favorites, an OG in the Denver Nuggets blogosphere from Forbes magazine. It's Joel Rush.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
How's it
Joel, what's
going?
happening?
Oh, the crowd
Not
goes
a whole
wild.
lot.
The crowd is very excited to have you here, as am I. Very excited. And guys, we actually have something to talk about, some natural content built right in. The NBA, in all of their wisdom, released the schedule to the season on Friday afternoon, or Friday evening, really, when everybody was out. And it was like, you know what? We're in quarantine. We've been making up content for 3.5 months. We're not going back into the studio. We'll save it for Monday. We'll do it live. And here we are. So, Joel, I know it was probably Saturday morning when you received the news, but first of all, are you excited to see the schedule? What was your first thought when you got to see the Denver Nuggets schedule come out?
I mean, I guess excitement probably isn't the right word because we knew it was coming, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was just more curious to see if they would actually. My surprise was that they didn't follow the remainder of the regular season schedule as closely as I was thinking they would.
They let us a ride, didn't they? I guess I was
did.
supposed to do the drum roll. Guy, I forgot. Here it is. Here's the drum roll to unveil the schedule here because we're pretending as if this was live.
There it is.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that beautiful graphic. too.
TV magic, baby.
Yeah. So Joel, you're right. They told us when we had the report from Vincent Goodwill that they were going to be playing the same teams that were already on their schedule. That's not the case.
Yeah, so I think it got a little tougher, but I think it kind of got tougher for everyone just by virtue of the bottom 8 teams being out. I don't feel like Denver got screwed or anything. Relative to what the strength of schedule was before the hiatus, I think proportionally it stayed more or less similar, I think.
Yeah.
I think they got screwed.
Do you really?
Are you just trying
Yeah,
to bring
because-
that energy? Is that why?
Yeah, well, I wanted the Spurs twice because they're going 0-8, so I wanted a piece of that.
Yeah, that is true.
And then I wanted games to show at a time where I wasn't going to be deep into mimosas and donuts. And
So you mean you got screwed?
yeah, me personally. I guess I
That's
should.
typically the perspective Eric is coming from, to be clear.
Well, I said the Nuggets, right? That's me.
Do you guys know who got the Spurs twice, though?
Who?
The Spurs.
The Utah Jazz.
No
They got the
way.
Spurs
Are
twice.
you kidding?
They got the Spurs twice. If you would have read my 5 takeaways from the schedule release on DNVR.com, I did note how the Jazz did get the Spurs twice.
Whatever. The Jazz are going to lose all 8 games, so I'm not even. I'm not even
I know, but that
thinking
means
about
the Jazz benefit from 2 Spurs losses. They get 2 gifted wins.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring up the point that you made here, and I know, Joel, for you have become accustomed to watching games at weird hours, and if you have to do this living in Japan, you have to, get up early in the morning or stay up super late or DVR games and watch them again. But this, for us, we have a bar. We have been very excited about having these, everybody can come. Well, not everybody. 50 total people can come into our bar, social distance, and watch the game together. And here we are with an 11 o'clock start to tip things off. I feel like the Nuggets, I don't feel like anybody got shafted, because when people argue like, oh, this is the toughest versus the least tough, we're talking about hardly anything. But they did get shafted in that they got the worst time slots. They got the morning time slot almost every single time. Does that mean anything to you, or is that like something that shouldn't matter?
I feel like it would mean more if we were in our regular arenas and kind of home environments and stuff, because then you probably have a higher likelihood of guys staying out late, and getting up early is hard for NBA players, right? Like,
yeah, that's
wait,
true.
Wait a
but
minute.
in the bubble,
am I in the NBA?
well,
I've never felt so close to NBA
It's
players.
the closest thing we have in common to NBA players.
but like in the bubble, maybe there's less of an impact there. I would assume that how late are they going to be playing ping pong and cards?
Right.
Oh, man. Well, think about like when you yourself would go to summer camp as a child, and you would wait until you would stay up until all hours of the night playing GoldenEye and
Yeah, but I think even though
Making
they
blanket
might not
tents.
be like going out and stuff, it's still going to be an adjustment for players, because NBA players just naturally are in a different time clock than most people. They go to bed late and get up pretty late normally, so they're going to be like adjusted. I think better than if they were just like to go from Denver down there and then just start playing immediately. But it's still going to be a little bit of an adjustment, I think.
Pull it back up, Kale, real quick, the schedule, because here's one thing I keep thinking. Or Guy. Pull it back up, Guy.
unbelievable.
One thing, so we have 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., 1:30, and then TBD, which is my favorite one. That's like
I can't wait, baby.
They can't even wait for TBD. But so here's the thing I keep wondering: 11, 2, and 2, and then 6, and then 1:30. So of the first 5 games, 4 of them are very, very early. Now that sucks, but I do wonder if Denver will be accustomed to playing early. I mean, they'll have that many games in a row early, and all of those. No other teams has this many early games. So I wonder if maybe it is an advantage, because maybe the Jazz used to having the spotlight, the prime time television, because everybody needs to see Rudy Gobert. I wonder if they'll be a little bit thrown off. What do you think, Joel?
I don't know. I like your theory. I like your theory, but like, there's just so many unknown variables in this whole bubble situation that it's to me the biggest factor in the whole return schedule is just going to be those last 3 games, whether those teams are resting players or not. Like more than the game times, and more than, I don't know, home, away, whatever advantage or lack of advantage there is there now, or fans. Like, I think if the Lakers are resting LeBron and Anthony Davis, or if Toronto's resting Siakam, like that's going to be the big difference maker for Denver, I think.
Right.
Are they even talking about games in terms of home and away? Are they even like keeping up that facade?
There's
that
a
show?
officially a home and away
location.
There is.
Yeah, I think officially you like have to have a home and away team, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, like later on they'll be like, the Nuggets' home record last year was terrible. They went.
I would hope.
I wonder what jersey are they bringing all 4 jerseys? Because usually that's how you would. I mean, that would be the only token thing. Like in the NCAA tournament, you have the home team is in white.
Now we're getting deep into the kind of discussions I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What would you like to see, the rainbow skylines?
I want to see the Mile
jersey?
High. I want to see the Mile High City jersey and the
They
black
love those.
skylines. That's all. The only two I want.
I was really disappointed last year when they didn't wear the rainbow skylines for even one playoff game.
The players didn't like them. The
Yeah.
players didn't like the white.
The white ones they're like too soft. They're like it's like strawberry shortcake out there.
Yeah, it is a little bit of like a juicy fruit or something. Not like a powerful or whatever.
We danced around this a second ago, but I think the best aspect of the Nuggets schedule is where they got the Lakers.
Yes, 100% agree.
The Clippers play the Lakers very early, I believe, in like the second or third game, or for the first game. Oh yeah,
Lakers Clippers,
night.
Yeah, opening night. Yeah, the Jazz got opening night as well somehow. I have no idea how.
Yeah, and if the Lakers, go 3-0 or even like 2-1, and they beat the Clippers, like they could clinch the 1 seed through just a couple games. So I am pretty sure they're going to be resting their guys by that Nuggets game, the third to last one.
But here's a question though: do you rest guys when there's only 8 games? I mean, every game is a tune-up. Every game is getting ready for the regular or the playoffs, and not that I think the Lakers are worried.
Have like 20-minute, 25-minute limits, or
yeah,
get a few reps in, but not really take the game so seriously.
And it's probably less about rest and just like straight up injury avoidance. They're like we literally have nothing to gain. All that can happen is LeBron James can tear an ACL. So maybe that's not fun again.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But if you do look at it, so the Nuggets, Raptors, very likely to be wrapped up in their final seeding by that game. The Clippers. What I like about this is you play the Clippers second to last. Either that game has implications for your playoff seeding, which is great because that means the Nuggets. The Clippers are like 4 games up from the 4 seed. So they're safe there. The Nuggets are really the only team that are a threat to catch them. So either the Nuggets are within striking distance of the 2 seed, which means they played great. That's a good thing. Or they're so far away that the Clippers aren't going to try, which means that's a gimme. So I do feel like that's a great one. The Lakers, that third to last one, again, that's the one I don't know about because I don't know if you want to rest 3 games in a row, but maybe they do. Maybe the Lakers do. So I do agree that in that one regard, things have broken nicely.
Is there some gerrymandering that we're able to accomplish this year where we get the Lakers and the Clippers on the same side of the bracket?
I don't think that's possible.
No? All right, then I don't care.
Unless the Clippers completely flame out and are just terrible and the tournament somehow dropped to 4. The Ringer, and I don't know what metric they were using here, but the Ringer put odds out here, and I'm surprised, man. Some of this is like, look, we're projecting something that the league stopped 4 months ago. None of these projections matter, but I'm so surprised at how many of these models really don't like the Nuggets that much. They're very likely to finish in the 3 seed, which I think is accurate. But then they're as likely to be the 5th seed as the 2 seed. Is when you see things like this, Brendan, I saw you just rejoined us here. When you see things like this vote, what do you make of the fact that everybody seems so low on Denver's chances, even when they're just using statistical models?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to chalk that one up to.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? I really don't know what goes into that evaluation that tells you. I mean, if there's a set of criteria you could say this team is likely to fall off, but I don't know how that doesn't apply to like 80% of these teams with everything that's going on. Are they a try-hard lucky team on defense? Maybe, but that tends to manifest in the regular season. Are these not regular season games? I don't know how to evaluate this, so... The truth is, I just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the numbers recently, but I think if you look at things like expected wins, the Nuggets outperform on that metric. Their, what do you call it? The shot selection statistic.
Yeah,
that's on
expected
cleaning
shot
the glass.
value or something.
Oh, yeah,
Their effective field goal percentage is better than it should be, according to that. So I think...
I love should be.
Probably some of those, number crunching, what do you call it, algorithms or whatever kind of project the Nuggets lower than their performance this season based on things like that.
The only thing, to me, it seems like it's been 2 seasons of that now, where the Nuggets
for sure.
are lucky. So are they creating their own luck? Why does their luck run out now when it seemed to apply to them throughout the regular season? So I'm not saying that it can't happen. I just, I don't know. I'm not a numbers guy.
Well,
I don't know what
I'm sure strength of schedule also had a big thing to do with those projections, whatever model they use. And from a strength of schedule standpoint, the Nuggets have the toughest schedule in the West over these 8 games and the 3rd toughest in the league.
But I also think strength of schedule is like less dependable in this context than it's
totally.
As for all the reasons you guys
this is an entirely new season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wondering if any of these models that I've seen, like the one at the Ringer, Pelton's, I think it was Goldstein maybe, but like all of them seem to have Utah projected higher than they should if Bogdanovich is going to be out.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point, Joel.
I think they haven't factored that in. Maybe I'm not sure. But
They had to have though. Like that's what these guys do. They tweak their models.
Yeah, they're like,
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We forgot to look at the actual
Williams
players.
is no longer there. Dang it, we need to update this model. So
they're like, they're like, I don't know if Jerry Sloan is going to be safe in the bubble.
Oh god, Joel. Just from a general question, are you like, what's your level of excitement for whatever is about to happen over this next couple of months? I mean, are you excited to see all this unfold?
I'm really excited to just watch live basketball again.
I know.
But, of course, that excitement is tempered by the reality of the chaotic, burning in hell world that we're living in, too, you know? Like,
yeah. That burning in hell world really rears its head quite often when you're talking about things that you want to be positive about.
And it's like we're going to be, like, walking on an edge of a knife, you know, just wondering if the whole bubble is going to collapse really under the weight of the coronavirus. With all the excitement, and I do feel it, like I just can't wait to watch basketball again, but
oh my god,
there's this lurking fear in the back of my mind that, you know, there's a dread overhanging the excitement that kind of makes it hard to just enjoy with pure enjoyment.
Do you think that you'll be immersed in this, though, at any point? Because that's the thing I keep wondering. Like, right now, everything we talk about is theoretical, like looking forward to this or that. But do you think there'll be a moment, you know, 5 games into this, where we just almost forget? I mean, we're never going to forget, but where you just kind of, like, enjoy a game and enjoy a podcast and enjoy a discussion, and you're almost like, oh, yeah, there's also a pandemic? Or do you think it'll always be at the front of the mind?
I think it'll kind of ebb and flow a little bit, you know, like kind of like with the recent news cycle, you know, like the Black Lives Matter, unfortunately, movement has, despite protests going on, you know, that's kind of started waning off from actually getting news coverage to the extent that it was initially. But, you know, then some incident will happen that'll be right back up in the spotlight, you know, and I think things will grab our attention and slip from our attention periodically. But, you know, I think in the moment of watching the games, the game will bubble to the top as, you know, you can get caught up in the moment of anything at any time, I think. So I think the games will carry their own excitement.
How excited were you to watch the UFC on Saturday at the DNVR bar, Adam?
I'll be honest, almost not at all until they were on, and then I was very immersed in it. So it was.
That's what I'm saying.
But that wasn't like I wasn't looking forward to it. My day wasn't really planned. I didn't even know I was going to the last second.
I know, but would you say that the pandemic was at the forefront of your mind when we were screaming for one guy to punch another guy in the face over and over?
Actually, yes. I guess it was a little bit. No, but I do think so. The Nuggets are going to have all these morning games, all these very earliest first games, and we will get to watch them. Of course, I'm sure we'll do something at the DNVR bar with proper social distancing, only a handful of people in. If you're lucky enough, you can reserve a spot, I'm sure. But I am excited for, like, when I looked at that and I said, okay, the Nuggets play at 11:30. Then there's a game at 1:30, then a game at 3:30, and a game at 5:30, and a game at 7:30. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be kind of a fun day. We get to watch basketball for like 9 hours, and I'm really, me personally, like when I look at that and start thinking about it in that regard, I get pretty excited about it. So I don't know. What about you, Vote and Win? Like, what are you guys feeling? Is your excitement ramping up at all?
Oh, totally. I can't wait. Like the NBA is our life, and yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now. But I mean, these 3 months have been brutal. Like, I'm not going to lie. These 3 months have been brutal with no hoops.
By the way, we get thrown a bone this week because on Wednesday, I don't know if we know this, but I don't know if the fans know this. We're going to get to start talking to Coach Malone and the players. They're going to be practicing and things. So we're going to start getting sort of our first updates, and they'll be, I think, fairly regularly, maybe even daily over the next several weeks. So I do think it'll start to feel at least a little bit like things are ramping back up. Of course, some important, I think, benchmarks ahead for us. When we come back, there is some news, though. The Brooklyn Nets dropping out. I mean, there almost might not even be a Brooklyn Nets. I wonder if the NBA was just amended not to put the Brooklyn Nets in. But we're going to talk about that and some of the other latest news here in a moment. But Harrison, you have some reads for us.
I feel like some other teams might want to drop out too if given the chance.
Harrison, did you finish top 10 in this weekend's WGT?
Well, I was top 10 in DNVR 1, but not top 10 total.
Well, that's
so
too bad.
I don't think that counts.
It does not count.
I don't think that counts. So obviously we know everybody's going down to Disney World in a couple weeks here. If Nuggets players, Nuggets staff, if they want to hit some Breck Brew while they're in Disney World, just pop onto the Breck Brew beer locator. There are 31 places that sell Breck Brew within a short drive of Disney World. So
is it
you can
outside
get Breck
the bubble?
Brew wherever you want.
Is it inside the bubble or outside?
It is outside the bubble.
Well,
they're not going to sneak it in.
They're not going to challenge the SWAT team or whatever to go get the Breck Brew.
Yeah. Obviously, tons of places to get it in Denver as well. The 15-can sampler, the Jokic pack, also the Mile High City Copper Lager as well. Pick it up at Davidson's. They have curbside pickup and delivery. And Adam was just talking about it. We did have a WGT event this past weekend.
Why are we talking about this?
We're having one every weekend now. We're going to every weekend. This weekend's
Thank
the 4th of
God.
July.
No, that's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear.
Great news.
That's what I love to hear.
Joel, you got to get on the WGT train, man. You got to start playing phone golf.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to admit that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Good for you.
Unfortunately, I do know what we're talking about. It's a source of great shame for me at the moment. I performed not admirably. I had a lot of water in my game. I had a lot of rampant.
I hit water on the first hole. Swear to God, I almost quit right then and there. But I pulled it together. Yeah. Make sure to download
weekend vote. I didn't see your score. Were you on?
I didn't play this weekend.
You loser. Boo.
You know what happened? You know what really happened?
What happened?
I thought DNVR 1 has a better shot of victory if I just sit this one out.
And it worked.
It worked. DNVR 1 over DNVR 2.
Yeah, take that DNVR 2.
You were triumphant.
Yeah, I like this where I can hop on to Harrison's accomplishments in life and feel good about myself. I definitely dragged the aggregate score way down, but I still feel like a champion.
Team sports are sick, dude. I won a national championship in Ultimate Frisbee when I was in high school. I was the 15th best player on the team. But the other 14 guys were sick. So
you won a national championship in Ultimate Frisbee? How have we not talked about this on the pod before?
Because we cover basketball, and when you brag about Ultimate Frisbee...
A national championship in high school? It's a big
deal.
Joel,
what was your best sport?
I was a horrible athlete. I played soccer when I was a kid through like junior high school, but then when I moved from Boulder to Littleton, when I was 14, then like Arepo High School had like a real soccer team, and I just wasn't good enough to be on it. So I just kind of gave up on sports altogether, and I kind of became a skater.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
You definitely need to get into phone golf then.
That was like my greatest athletic accomplishment, maybe.
I also had a skater phase as well. I'll admit it.
I need photo evidence.
Did you go to Boulder High, Joel?
No, I would have gone to Fairview had I continued to live in Boulder, but then I moved away from there. So I went to Burbank Junior High, which I think the schools that I went to, Aurora 7 Elementary, got renamed to other things by now. But
I just wanted to make sure you would have gone to Fairview.
Buckets, that's not Frolf. Frolf is Frisbee golf.
That's right.
Ultimate Frisbee. He's a national championship in
Thank you, Eric. I'm not even going to bother to...
You free.
I can't even believe I said it on the podcast.
So. My brother went to Fairview.
Oh, nice.
I would have gone there too.
Enough Fairview talk, you two. No, I want to ask you here, Joel. I don't want to go. We don't have to go too long into this, but I do want to ask because I know that there's quite a difference between Japan and the U.S. in terms of just like the COVID.
Is that true? Can you confirm?
And just the handling of COVID and sort of the ways it goes. But out here, we're seeing, not in Colorado, thankfully. I think people in Colorado have done a very nice job of, using caution, wearing masks, social distancing, but in Florida, for example, where the NBA is going to be holding this tournament, in Arizona, some of these other places, it's really spiked. What's happening with Japan right now?
Well, fortunately, the coronavirus curve stayed pretty low the whole time here, and it's gone down to, I think we've been in the area of 900-something deaths for several weeks now. It still hasn't topped 1,000. And Japan has 38% the population of the United States. So,
wow,
proportionally, it's a much smaller percentage of cases and deaths here. And it's kind of a mystery, or at least initially it was kind of a mystery as to why, because there was not a strict lockdown here. There was not the implementation of these. Like, my brother and his family live in Manila. They couldn't go for a walk in their neighborhood. Their lockdown was so strict over there.
Wow.
But, in Japan, people were still out and about. Kids were playing in the parks. You would see people shopping in retail stores and stuff like that. But
everybody masked? Is that the thing?
Yeah, very, very high mask compliance, which I wrote about this recently, but based on some polls and my own kind of half-assed research, I think it's maybe about 90% mask compliance here. And there's also just no handshakes, no hugging. Basically, in day-to-day personal greetings, people don't touch each other. And I think those two things kind of gave Japan a somewhat inherent advantage in preventing the spread.
When I have visited Japan years ago, and people wore masks then. Like, it's like not uncommon at all for people to be wearing masks if they themselves are sick, because they have a inherent concept of taking care of the larger community. And also Japan, correct me if I'm wrong, but on a small island relative to the United States, like, you deal with diseases that sort of sweep through the entire population a lot, right? Like, people are just much more tightly compact. So this is not a new idea that people are having to sort of wrap their heads around and, like, change their behavior. And no one jumps up and claims that it's somehow an affront against their freedom to put a mask on.
Well, there's on that point, there's definitely more of a collective sense of community responsibility.
For sure.
Like, and part of that is, like, just ethnically, 98% of people who live in Japan are Japanese. So when Japanese people talk, they talk in terms of we often, like, we think this or we do this. And, so the deep social divisions along, whatever lines you might draw, religious or ethnic or racial or religious.
Any of them you want.
Yeah.
I just repeated myself, but you know what I mean, political.
Yeah.
They don't exist to nearly the same degree, which I think makes it easier for people to kind of get together on the same, like, okay, it's good to wear a mask for everybody. Okay, everybody wear masks, and everyone just kind of goes with the program.
This is an interesting comment that we got from Beaston here about, I think you'll need to see sports canceled again for people to get the picture. I really do. I mean, I'm not optimistic, but I do wonder sometimes, like, just what's it going to take, because we see these spikes. And I will say this anecdotally as well here in Colorado. I do think people, the last 2 weeks, you've seen fewer people out. You've seen more people wearing masks. And maybe that's a positive sign, or maybe that's just Denver. Maybe that's just Colorado. Colorado's one of the better states at everything, in my opinion. So maybe that's
Brendan, did you know that Adam likes Colorado?
Yeah, it's a theme out here, huh?
Big fan. There's some news today, guys. We can move on. Jordan Bell has signed with the Cavs.
How could the league let this happen? I stole that joke from Twitter.
But it is true. It brings us back to, because what was he taken with, like, the 31st pick or whatever he was sold for cash? And I remember this was only like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. People were like outraged that Jordan Bell could fall to the Golden State Warriors.
It was a rough time to be a not Warriors fan, man. Anything at all.
That's true.
Like, David West has been lifting. You're like, no! Oh my god!
Harrison, can you name all of the teams Jordan Bell has played for in the NBA now? Or at least been on the roster for at least, like, 12 hours?
Warriors.
All right.
Timberwolves.
I can't fact check you. I don't know why I asked this question, but you are right so far. You are two for
I think he was on the Wizards for a second, but never played because the season got suspended, and then obviously the Cavs. So I'll say 4.
So first Houston, then Washington, then Memphis. If you recall, he was with Memphis for, like, not very long. At least
kind of
like
impressive.
that.
Do not recall.
Yeah, nobody does.
All I know is that when I used to fight people online on Facebook in the Nuggets chat groups, like, I had people that I was constantly arguing with that really, really liked Moutier and Jordan Bell for the Nuggets. It's like this is a conversation I was in all the time, that Moutier was just going to get better and better and better. So in your face, Facebook group.
The draft conversations are so funny. Like OG Anunoby, he was like LeBron James. Like, through the fingers, it's like, how could this happen? Jordan Bell definitely on the list. Kyle Kuzma for a good year. Everybody's like, can't believe him too.
How did he fall? It's like, well,
you can say that about OG, but I still wish he was on the Nuggets.
Yeah, there's no doubt, especially when Tyler Lydon was the guy that they got instead. That is an all-timer.
The shot Trey Lyles missed, OG got a little bit better in my head,
Yeah. Wait, was I fighting you, Joel? We didn't check our usernames.
The other piece of news that dropped today, guys, and this one a little bit more serious. So Wilson Chandler opted out. I don't think that was a surprise. Anybody that followed Wilson Chandler on Twitter and just saw the direction of the Nets, not surprising that he opted out. But today, Spencer Dinwiddie and DeAndre Jordan both tested positive for coronavirus. Spencer Dinwiddie allegedly showing some symptoms. We don't know what, but showing some symptoms of it. Spencer Dinwiddie has not been ruled out. I don't believe, at least at this moment, has not been ruled out, but not looking great. DeAndre Jordan has ruled himself out. He will not play. Who's left on the Brooklyn Nets?
LeVert?
Yeah, actually, this could be the LeVert,
This is where Karis LeVert builds his trade value for a trade in 4 months.
And also, just by the way, we're actually asking. We haven't done any research. We don't know who else is on the Nets.
Yeah, we need to.
Well, Harrison's boy. We know Harrison's boy is Joe Harris still there, but no. In all seriousness, this team is kind of low on players. I mean, what do you make of this? We've talked about what would happen if an entire team caught it, or if a bunch of players, there was an outbreak, but the Brooklyn Nets are short 7-8 players right now. So what do you make of that situation?
I don't know. I mean, if you have a whole team that can't play, literally they don't have enough players on the roster.
Yeah.
I don't know what the NBA is going to do, because there's still going to be – I mean, they've put all their eggs in this basket, right? So there's still going to be immense pressure to continue on. But
yeah. I mean, to be fair to them, where else were they to put their eggs?
Oh, no, I don't disparage them for that. I'm just saying, that's the reality of the situation.
For sure.
And at this point, if even just one team were to say, well, maybe we shouldn't go, and that you're starting this whole thing over, right?
Luckily for everyone, I think the Nets are the second or third most irrelevant team in this whole thing. They had almost no chance of catching up. There was in that thing where we showed the odds of where everybody would land, the Eastern Conference version of that one was actually ridiculous, because it was 98% certain. Yeah, that one that shows the odds. It was 98% certain that the Orlando Magic were going to be the 8th seed, and then almost no chance that there would be any other movement. So Brooklyn didn't really have a point. They're going to be the 7th seed, and that's just going to have to be how it goes.
I think we're gonna see more of this, though. To be honest, players pulling out. What did we put the over/under at for players to test positive?
6.5.
Last week, 6.5.
Yeah.
So
I guess we got 2. Wow. Yeah.
In 1 day, we've gotten 2. So we're probably going to go over that. And I mean, I think we're going to see more guys pull out, especially from the teams that are in, the bottom 5 seeds or so, for sure.
This has to be a snowball effect thing, right? I mean, I think if you're on the fence and you see your peers dropping out, maybe you feel that much more comfortable doing it yourself. So I would have to imagine there's a little bit of momentum that will gather behind this.
My favorite development in the NBA over the past day and a half is that there are probably, honestly, teams that feel upset that they missed out on J.R. Smith.
Nick Young is still available. God. Nick Young is out there.
Who is?
Nick Young. Still available.
I know.
That was a weird Nuggets moment, wasn't it? The Nick Young weeks.
Oh, it was the weirdest. It was the best, though, at the same time. When he hit his first 3, I was I think I was standing next to Adam and Brendan. I believe that I embarrassed them both, if I don't, if memory serves.
Right. There was some other Nuggets news, though, over the weekend. They're planning to sign Tyler Cook to their other 2-way spot.
That's a good point, yeah.
Thoughts on that, everybody?
That's it. There's no more remaining spots on the roster. Correct.
Maxed out. 17.
They're maxed out. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, I hope PJ Dozier plays, but I would be surprised if he did. Tyler Cook, I'd be very surprised if he played.
Yeah. That's bad times for the Nuggets.
So it's funny because way back at training camp, Tyler Cook and PJ Dozier were pretty much competing for the final 2-way spot, and Dozier got it. Cook got cut. But my inkling here with the signing is that the Nuggets want to bring 17 guys to Disney World that they trust and that they know. And that they know aren't going to like try to escape the bubble and whatnot.
like Nick Young would.
Yeah. So they just want to trust all their guys, and I feel like they think they know Tyler Cook and are comfortable with him representing them down at Disney World.
What contract did Tyler Cook sign? Like, what is signing a two-way deal at this point in time?
When there's no G League, right?
Yeah, it's just for the rest of the season. Okay, it's just for the rest of the season.
So it's more of a formality, right, than anything. It almost seems
I mean, but it's somebody that they get to bring, and I think Harrison's point is great. I hadn't really thought of it, but you invite Nick Young onto your roster because you're like, oh, we need shooting. What you really get is a guy that
is going to break the bubble.
Maybe breaks the bubble, and then your whole team gets COVID, and it's like, well, that wasn't worth the 2 3-pointers you made.
The literal Trojan horse of the team.
It's amazing. The NBA is starting to announce today. It was reported by Zach Lowe, Ramona Shelburne. They're going to play Black Lives Matter on the court. We knew that some of this stuff was coming. They're also going to allow players to put messages on the back of their jersey, basically in place of names. So if you want to make a statement or something like that, players can do it. Spencer Dinwiddie was the first player to announce what he was going to do, and he was going to put $26 trillion to represent the national debt.
Not the number of COVID viruses he had in his lungs. No. Sorry.
But I just thought that was really
so
interesting because
weird.
I know the NBA was thinking very narrowly about what type of statement a player would make, and he came out here with a completely different statement.
I hadn't heard that. That's so bizarre.
Well, he was going to wear 26, and then the back was going to say trillion to represent the national debt. And it was, I'm sure the NBA was like, "Oh my god, all right." Well, okay.
What is it? Why? What is the point of that? I don't even understand what the message is. Is he an economist?
I'm not going to get into any of it. But what I am going to get into though is that. Did you have something, Bo? I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I mean, I feel like you're about to ask Joel a question. I'd rather listen to that.
I'm actually going to segue into asking Joel a bunch of questions. Over the weekend, there's actually including today, 2 birthdays for the Denver Nuggets. Monte Morris celebrated a birthday. Michael Porter Jr. celebrated his 22nd birthday, which to me it almost stings a little. 22 isn't old, but it's not young anymore. And seeing him. We just got him, but he's already turning 22. But Joel, here's my question for you: are you prepared now to guess the ages of a handful of players who are actually surprisingly old or surprisingly young? Are you? This is the latest game that I've invented that is completely sweeping the nation.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, I'm not prepared at all, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah, that means you're completely prepared.
Where is our graphic, Eric? I thought you had a graphic for this. Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh, look at my grays. Oh my.
Does this mean I look as old as I am?
Exactly. Yeah, this is Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear.
Oh yeah, just right. That's
Harrison.
It's safe to say I'm the oldest one in this room. But.
Harrison is always just right with his takes, with his personality. Adam, a little bit,
So this is MPJ being 22. He doesn't feel 22 to me. He feels 20. Maybe he just turned 21, but him being 22, I remember him talking about being in Jamal Murray's same high school class or whatever, and he's like, I don't know how we got split up. But I'm going to ask you some here, and these are going to all be shocking. Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Joel, how old is Michael Kidd Gilchrist?
Oh God, what year was he drafted? I'm going to guess. It seems like he should be 35, but I'm going to guess 29.
He's 26.
I knew that one.
Wow. That is a shock.
He's 26 years old. I'm with you. If I would have gotten asked this one, I would have said 33, maybe 32. But he's somehow 26. 26 is the age where you can talk yourself into guys changing. If he develops a 3, he develops a 3-point shot.
At age 26.
I just feel like he's been around forever as a guy who I almost never see. But I always see his name.
Yeah.
He's just always in the background somewhere, but I am surprised. That's much younger than I would have guessed, for sure.
Please tell me you have Noah.
It's literally younger than you guessed.
Next one, Tobias Harris. Joel,
we need some drum rolls.
Tobias Harris.
27.
Wow, he got it perfectly.
Oh!
Wow. 27. Well, I guess that one's not too surprising. I thought he felt a little older than that, so I was surprised. He's young.
I would have said 29.
Him and like Gary Harris, basically the same age.
Yeah, I was actually, I think it was 1 or 2 seasons ago, I think I kind of had him circled as a guy the Nuggets might want to go after.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly when that was, but
He got that max, though.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
not worth that. He's not worth the max.
No.
The next one, Andrew Bynum.
Oh, man.
Andrew Bynum. 42?
32.
What?
I got that one exactly right.
He's 32. Has he
He's
been out of the
32
league for
years
15
old.
years?
He's been out of the league for like 3 years. He's only 32. Because he came into the league at 17, if you recall, but
32?
isn't that wild?
Doesn't it seem like Andrew Bynum and Noah Vonleh have been in the around the league for the same amount of time?
Totally.
Wait, is Paul Millsap older than
Andrew
Andrew
Bynum?
Bynum?
Much older.
Much older. Three full years older.
And we're like, he's still got some juice left, Andrew Bynum. We're like, man, they can get that.
Yeah, that one surprised me. All right, the next one, Steph Curry.
Oh.
31?
32.
Wow.
32. 32. First of all, Steph Curry is a lot older than.
Yeah.
32 is kind of old, man.
I would have been like
Especially for a
28,
guard.
yeah.
Especially for a point guard.
I got that within one. I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Nope. That's only
No?
hand grenades and horseshoes.
Is it 4 years, Davidson? Does anyone know?
I think 3. I think he did 3. But isn't it wild to think of Andrew Bynum and Steph Curry being the exact same age?
It's unsettling.
I mean, we're talking about like if you ask me honestly, like Warriors next year, I'm like, oh, they could be great. They still have Steph, they still have Clay, they still have Draymond. Those guys are all old. He'll be 33 next year.
How long do we think Steph Curry is?
You're washed, Eric.
Top 10 player in the league if he is still there right now.
Maybe 1 more year, 2 years. I don't know. I'd still say 2 more years.
It just seems like it's not. At what point does he lose his ability to get that shot off? Right,
Yeah.
He'll always be able to shoot, but can he get open, hit these difficult shots, get it off with such a quick release? For how much longer? That drop off's going to come a little quicker than we think. He's a good 2 to 3 years older than I would have guessed.
I love this comment, Joel. I mean, look, I'm also a fellow old, but it's true, man. All these guys, I'm older. I'm older than every single Denver Nuggets player. So
yeah, we saw that on the graphic, Adam.
Oh, God damn it, you're right. You're right about it.
2 years at Davidson, by the way.
Yeah, NBA careers can be rough, man. Like I stumbled across an old Jordan Hamilton video that I made on YouTube from 8 years ago or something. Like I
haven't given up on Jordan Hamilton. I don't know about you guys. I haven't given up on him.
Yeah, that's right. The Nuggets could still sign Quincy Miller, right?
I was gonna say Quincy Miller was my guy. Like that's the guy. Were you a Quincy Miller guy, Joel?
Yeah, I think kind of along the Keita Bates-Diop line of thinking. Like maybe he's got some length and defensive potential and blah blah blah. But yeah, never panned out.
Who is your like Nuggets end of bench guy that you were irrationally high on over the last decade?
Over the last decade,
I mean, mine would clearly be Juancho.
I mean, a guy who's a bench guy now, but Moutier.
Oh wow!
It was Joel I was fighting with. It wasn't.
It really was.
Where are we at? All right.
No, but his summer league, man, he just crushed it with the,
Oh, I know.
really innovative playmaking and like swinging one-armed passes across the court. And I thought
Totally.
I just really had much higher expectations for him than.
Although he wasn't an end of bench guy, he was the #1 starter, and he was terrible.
So true. The whole video with him overlooking the city on top of Pepsi Center. It was so cool.
Dude, I was so in.
He had the backstory. He had every piece of it to be like, all right, this is a star. He was not a star.
The
all right,
physical
next
tools.
One. Yeah. Brendan Vought's been teasing it.
Oh.
Noah Vonleh.
Oh, baby.
You might know this one.
31?
Good guess. That's what I would have guessed. But 24. Noah Vonleh is 24. We can't give. I'm not
you
joking.
serious?
He was one and done at Indiana, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Noah Vonleh. There's a part of me that kind of thinks Denver should re-sign him next year and just be like, what if he's good?
He entered the league?
Yeah, hasn't he been on more than 24 NBA teams?
He has. I'm telling you, he's bounced.
He's a journeyman, and he's
24. No, he's a journey boy.
He does feel like he's played 13 years for about 8 different teams.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 24. 19 when he came into the league. One and done in Indiana.
I like Noah Vonleh.
I do too.
Noted LeBron stopper.
He can move his feet on the perimeter. He's strong as an ox. Absolute unit. Can rebound the ball. I think Noah Vonleh might be like a backup center in the NBA.
I think it was 2 seasons ago I included him in an article as a trade target for Denver.
So you're right.
Wow.
He's
Weird
still young.
flex. That was a very... You nailed it.
I'm not flexing. I'm just...
He's also first team all backside, without a doubt.
I know.
This one
I'm team 3, but I'm still pretty impressed with myself.
Devontae Graham.
Uh, 25.
Hey, we nailed it. 25.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Wow,
See, I
Joe.
think of him as like 21 because it's only his second season. He's really broken out, and I'm kind of high on him. But then he's 25.
Yeah.
He's kind of like
Played 4 years at Kansas, right?
Yeah. So I guess that one's not that exciting. This one was one of my favorite ones though. Jordan Clarkson.
Oh.
30?
Now he's 28. So I actually would have guessed like 24.
He's been around the block too. Though.
Yeah, I feel like
he's used goods. I love that you just have the 30 is the line of demarcation, whether they're old or young, and you have to decide, like, is this an old person or a young person?
The way I look at it is Jordan Clarkson is the best version of himself right now. Like, he'll never be better than what he is right now, and he's terrible.
Is Jordan Clarkson this era's Jamal Crawford?
No,
he's not as good.
Jamal Crawford is
he's
still...
actually this year's Jordan Crawford probably is more accurate.
Do we even...
I got another one for you here, Joel.
Do we even know that answer to Bucket?
I didn't see. What was it?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, I did have that one pulled up. He was older than you think, too. Michael Malone.
Wow.
46.
It's 49. He's 49.
Wow.
He's going to turn the big 5-0 this year.
I remembered he was within a year or two of my age, so I was putting him a bit younger, but he's 1 year older than me then.
There you go. So maybe you can answer this one from experience. We know Michael Malone is very edgy. He's, he can have a short fuse, a short temper. Do you think that will increase in the year he turns 50? Because I imagine that's not a fun birthday.
I think he's going to George Carl it. I think he'll, mellow over time, like a fine whiskey or something.
Wow.
I have one.
That's the biggest mistake that's ever happened on this show, by the way. That Michael Malone will mellow out in his old age.
Wait, I have one I'd like to ask. Oh, go ahead, Joel.
Go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear
I was just going to say, I think the stress of being a new coach, look at Brian Shaw. Like, it's kind of like ride or die when you're in those first couple years. Now he's got the more job security. I think he can afford, in his own perception of his coaching, I think he can afford to be a little more patient and take a step back and have a bit more perspective. I think
wisdom.
It's not just the maturity; it's the increasing comfort level with his own position in the coaching world, I think. So
with age comes wisdom, and then he's comfortable. He's been through things before. Things aren't a surprise. He's lessening his emotions. He's able to call upon
he's
experience.
Worn some reflection on his sleeve, I think, this season in that regard. I don't know. I'm not around him all the time, but the players will tell you he's calmed down, and he'll tell us in scrums that he's certainly made a concerted effort to do that. So certainly it doesn't come naturally to him, but he's trying.
So Joe, I have one for you. Adam Mares.
Oh God!
How old is Adam Mares?
I actually never.
Everybody always guesses way older. It hurts.
Ooh, put me on the spot.
I did that.
That's very uncomfortable. Thank you, Eric.
I'm trying to get both of you to feel uncomfortable in one fell
I'll go 34.
Hey, that's not bad. 36. 36.
Glad I went over there.
Adam, when was the last lit birthday you had?
30. I told Harrison this the other day because he was talking about turning 30. It's the last birthday you celebrate. Like nowadays, I just go to Chili's or something. Like,
oh, I thought you said it was the last lit birthday was the age 30. You went to Chili's recently? That's pretty lit.
Eric. Wait a second.
Oh God.
Oh God. What is
that noise? Is it time for? We got to wrap up. Nobody wanted to play the steps tonight, so we'll do a quick little online with D-Line here. I know you have these ready to go.
I sure do.
When you're just gonna have to put in ads in post. I am still in my extended prime.
All right, guys. Well,
actually, you know what? Online with D-Line just got canceled because at the last minute, right at the buzzer, we actually. Yeah,
we got to. All right.
Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God we did get somebody to join us here for the steps. Go ahead.
Speaking of D-Line, can I just say real quick that I'm representing your...
my man.
Wow.
How we doing?
My man.
I wanted to make it a point to do that. So
sorry, Jay Ray,
Joel,
we brought you on. We just got a close picture of Joel's crotch, so I apologize.
To the show, Jay Ray.
Right, I missed it.
Well, you're the manscaping show, right? So
That's right.
That's right.
Joel's balls thanking us. Strangely enough.
Jay
Returning
Ray,
the favor.
how should I call you? Is Jay Ray the right? Is that how you want to go by?
Look, I don't know. I just copied my Twitter handle, so you can call me James if you like.
Okay, there you go. All right.
It's really what you would like.
It's really what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can call you Javier.
Amazing.
Jose, anything you want. All right. Are you ready to? Where are you calling in from?
From Melbourne, Australia.
I was gonna guess Thornton.
So we're close to the same time zone then.
Indeed, we are.
Does that mean you guys are in tomorrow?
We
Is
are.
it tomorrow for you guys?
So dumb.
I mean,
So dumb.
it's today for me right now. But
I'll have to think about that.
A real Monday show.
yes, it is Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon.
What time are these games going to be on for you? Have you looked at the schedule and looked at them? What time they'll be for you to watch live?
I think there are a few. The earlier ones are probably at maybe 5 a.m.
Oof. Okay.
or 6. So not great, but not terrible.
That's pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
I checked yesterday. They're ranging from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. here.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So
What's your line?
Yeah,
Maybe
Is
like
there
3 to 11 there.
for both of you, is there like a line in the sand where you're like, I'm not getting up that early, or for
It's
for
only
this-
work for me. If I'm not working, I'll find a way to be awake for it.
It's incredible.
yeah,
Dedication.
it depends on what I'm doing that day. I much prefer to stay up late and then watch it than have to wake up and fund myself. But whatever. It's always fun to watch.
1 a.m. game, 1 a.m. tip. Are you staying up late or getting up early? What is 1 a.m.?
Definitely staying up for 1 a.m. Yeah, that's fine.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, you stay up for 2.
3:30. What are we doing at 3:30? We staying up or we?
Get in like a 2-hour nap
that's
first.
the cutoff
maybe.
point, about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
We had to deal with that in what was that last tournament? Whatever the last tournament was that Serbia played in.
Yeah, trying
We
to
had to
support our
deal with that,
brothers.
right?
And I was like, wow,
yeah.
you guys set alarms for basketball. This is nuts.
Getting up at 4 a.m.
This is nuts.
Alrighty, well, you're on here, James. You have a chance to climb the steps. Harrison has a list of questions. They're all either, if I can say from experience, they're all either incredibly easy or incredibly impossible. So we'll find
Or
out.
halfway through, it switches out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Keep your head on a swivel here, James.
Yeah, my heart is beating very fast, but I'll give it a crack.
yeah.
Take it away, Harrison.
Oh,
All right.
No. And the music hadn't even
Question
started.
Number
Oh,
1. What country does today's guest, Joel Rush, currently live in?
Oh.
Japan.
Joel, do you know? You can help him if you know this, Joel.
But he already got it.
He's been watching the show. That is correct.
That is
I
correct.
follow Joel on Twitter, so yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Everybody should
Shout out.
follow Joel on Twitter. Question number 2. What 2 teams are currently ahead of Denver in the Western Conference standings?
That's a good one.
That would be the Los Angeles Clippers and Lakers.
It would be the Clippers and Lakers.
That
You
is
are
so
correct.
smooth. Fighting through a beating heart. He's calling out cool, calm, and collected. I love it.
Yeah, you have
Don't
no
need me
idea.
at all.
Question number 3. Who do the Nuggets play in their first of 8 seeding games at Disney World?
Joel, was it the Heat?
Correctamundo.
Yeah, let's lock in the Miami Heat.
It is the Heat.
Yeah.
What a great
3
helper.
for 3.
What a
That
great
was-
helper.
Yeah,
That was-
I'm doing all the heavy lifting here.
That was definitively correctamundo.
All right, question number 4. Rui Hachimura is the second Japanese-born player to be drafted into the NBA. What team did he get drafted by?
The Washington Wizards.
That is correct. The
Let's
Washington
go.
Wizards.
Didn't even need Joel's
Although-
help.
Although I may have a correction for you there, Harrison.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's
Not
the
the
third
second.
Japanese player in the NBA, but I think he was the first to be drafted.
So
I think
I
both
looked it
Yuta
up.
Tabuse and Yuta Watanabe were picked up outside of the draft.
I looked it up, and it said there was one other guy taken in the second round, and he was the first rounder. But you could be right. You could be right.
I could be mistaken too. That was my understanding, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
But
I read that there were 2, and he was the first one to go in the first round.
So are we sure that J-Rate got the right answer? Can we
Yeah,
be
this is
positive?
riveting
but
television.
yeah,
This is crazy.
definitely
Okay, good.
that's the answer.
This is the one for a sticker pack. Make it hard.
Oh,
Mail this all the way
man.
to Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's so expensive.
Yeah, we have to give him the 15 question right now.
Question number 5. Which of these teams do the Nuggets not play over their 8 seeding games?
Great question.
The Clippers, the Wizards, or the Jazz? Who do they not play?
The Wizards.
Final answer.
It was almost a great
He
question.
got it. 5
Yeah,
for
let's
5.
go.
All right.
Boom.
This is a very Wizards-heavy quiz.
James, you want to keep going, try to get a shirt, or do you want to take a sticker pack and $70 of postage?
I'll keep going.
All right, love it.
Don't let me talk you out of it. Don't let me influence you one way or another.
Oh, get what you can get, J-Rate.
Yeah,
Don't,
get
don't
what
listen
you
to
get.
All right, question number 6. Which Nuggets bench player appeared in all 65 games that the Nuggets played in this season?
I think I know this one.
I think I do too.
Well, obviously not MPJ.
That's true.
You're on the right track.
Joel's Googling it right now. Look at his hand.
Unreal. He's just asking
Joel,
Alexa.
my initial lean is Monte. Do you?
My initial lean was either going to be Monte or Mason Plumlee. I'm 98% sure it's one
Plumlee
of those two.
Yeah, Plumlee didn't play in the 7 game against the Jazz, so it was just Vlatko.
And I would go with your initial lean then.
Man, that's incredible reasoning. Do you guys see how he worked
Yeah,
through that? Was
very.
great.
I'm just trying to think, if it's Tuesday for them, they might have seen the show already. Thus, already knowing.
It's the worst joke. I love it.
the best joke.
You've cracked it, Brendan.
Yeah. Come on.
That's why
Alright.
Australians never lose when we bet on.
All right, are we locking in Monte?
All right, well, yeah, let's go Monte.
It is Monte Morris.
Oh, man.
beautiful.
The
I have a lot of
deductive
faith in
reasoning.
James. I think James is going to do it.
All right,
At
question
least
number
for sure.
7. Question number 7. What Nuggets players from the same city as president of basketball ops Tim Connolly?
Will Barton.
Oof.
He's got it. Will Barton, it is.
That was more of a 3 question, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, surely
No
everyone listened to
hesitation on
Adam's,
that. That was
Adam's
great.
piece.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along here. What current Nuggets player played at DeMatha High School in Maryland?
Oh,
Ooh, gee.
Famed DeMatha High School.
that's very famed. We
Famed
all
for
know
some,
the
maybe.
High.
Maryland.
It's a great question. I know the answer.
Well,
That's why it's a great question.
just
You know
trying to
the
think of
answer.
my
It takes a
American
lot.
geography.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
what-
true. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Mine's pretty garbage. So.
We have a guy that's been living in Japan for. We're like.
I was a little worried a geography question would come up.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know who's gonna come on the steps. I just do
Yeah,
the
no,
questions.
I don't know the answer, but I do know what cities are in Maryland.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Baltimore, is that in Maryland?
that's in Maryland. Look at you, geography king.
Ugh.
As is DC, another hotbed for high school hoops.
DC. Yeah, okay. So current Nuggets player, was that the...
Actually, DC isn't in Maryland. It's in DC.
Yeah, you know what, Joel?
Yes, this is a current Nuggets player that played at DeMatha.
Yeah, so my head kind of is taking me away from Barton because he was the answer to the last question, but we also had Wizards to answer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't.
So I'm trying not to get trapped by that.
Don't overestimate us, dude. We would make that mistake for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be a trick; it'd be a straight up mistake.
So no ideas, Joel.
Barton would be my guess, but I definitely would not count on me on this one because I really don't know.
Cool. That's good advice. Don't count on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Barton again. I think, given the Maryland.
Good guess, James, but it is not Will Barton.
Who was it?
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant.
Put in Jeremy.
Adam tried to give the hint
from Baltimore or DC. It's like if you just did Baltimore and DC, it like I don't know, 10% of the NBA comes from those places.
Who's the best player from that?
Kevin Durant
from DC.
Kevin Durant, yeah, for sure, no question to ask.
Allen Iverson, also from that area.
He was from Virginia, which is I guess whatever.
Yeah.
These are all different places, just to be clear.
Not too many from Colorado, if we're being honest. Very, very few.
We only
Do you
need
know
one. We need the
Colorado?
king.
Colorado
Chauncey's.
apparently turns out more MLS players, though. American professional soccer players than any other.
The altitude, I'm sure.
And the focus of the young children's sportings. They don't play as much basketball. They play more soccer. So a bunch of small white guys.
Everybody does play soccer here. I played
It's
soccer.
true. As a youth.
Soccer was big, like, here's my age coming in, but, like, back in the 70s, me and my brother were playing soccer in elementary school, you know? Like, soccer's been big in Colorado for a long time.
Forever, yeah.
Joel, it was so great to talk to you, man. And
you too, guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you, brother.
Monday or Tuesday in your case, but we'll have to do it again. Hopefully, when there's actual games to analyze and
would love to
break down.
It's been fun.
Yeah, but everybody go follow Joel. Read his stuff over at Forbes, and thanks for tuning in. We got stuff coming up all week tomorrow. Green Bean Productions. That's what they're being called now.
Green Bean Productions.
Romy Bean and Green. So they're coming on the show. They're going to help us break down.
Hell yeah.
Some of the latest news, hopefully that breaks between now and then, and then also just let us know what they've been up to for the last couple months. Thanks so much, everybody. We're going to see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
This song has to be a